It's Get Your Rock Out here at Hammerfest 2012 with a wonderful Aaron from Paradise Lost. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Lots of interviews, which is always good. It's nice to know people still want to talk to us, which is always cool.
And are you past the whole nerves before you go on stage thing?
I get excited, I don't get nervous. My favourite thing is playing live, so I hate waiting around all day to do it, to be honest. So excited.
What do you actually generally tend to do, when you're touring before you play? Do you have anything that you like to do?
Yeah, I literally usually do warm-up exercises and loads of stretching and things before I play, for about 45 minutes before. I used to do a lot of martial arts and Tai Chi, and I still it's part of my routine. Otherwise, if I go on stage, I get cramp in my legs and stuff. Because the thing is, since I shaved all my hair off, I have to headbang more and it's harder work. So otherwise, you get up the next day and you're like, head gone. You got what I like to call heavy metal leg, which is this muscle goes stiff from banging it on the stage all the time. Yeah.
I've got to ask, why shave the hair?
I was trying to beat nature at her own game.
Were you actually going bald though?
Thinning? No, not really. I mean, it's still, but not great. I wouldn't have it long.
I don't know, I'm just under the impression that everybody should have long hair.
Yeah, well, to be honest as well, by the time I got to Donington in '96, we played the last ever Monsters of Rock. We'd been on tour for 3.5 years out of 4 years between Icon and Drac Times, and I was just like, I've had enough of long hair. Sweaty, brushing it out after headbanging it, getting stuck in the headstock, and then going like that to go in a gig hurts. So I just got sick of it, really.
Do you have no regrets? You don't miss it?
Do you know what? It's nice to have the option, but there's something awesome about getting up in the morning and no bedhead. I actually have got hair days, not bad hair days.
Well, that's, I guess, that is definitely something. Festivals and my hair, it's generally horrific.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've sort of put up on my MySpace a number of years ago, and a few people have commented. It's called headbanging, not hair banging. That is my argument towards
that. I like that one. I think I'm going to use that one in the future. So thank you. So anyway, we're at Hammerfest. Have you actually managed to see anybody else yet?
No, I've literally got here with my wife, seen the rest of my band, and then we've done interviews and a signing session pretty much all the time, really. So probably not going to get time to see anyone.
Oh, really? Nobody at all?
Me and my wife are having a lovely romantic weekend in London now. So we're leaving about half an hour after come off stage to check into a really nice hotel.
That's really, really nice.
Well, she's a Welsh girl, so.
Are you going to go for fish and chips as well, with it being London?
No, we're actually booked into a very award-winning gastropub tomorrow night for dinner.
See, good as that is,
we're
surely.
Both really good food.
So. In that case, London and chips is possibly not the best.
She is a phenomenal cook, so very lucky.
You're a lucky man.
I am, yeah.
Really are.
Because every girlfriend I've had before I met my wife, I've been the cook.
So do you still cook even though
Occasionally. My wife she snapped her hamstring last year and she was bedridden. So I became the chef and nurse then, so I quite enjoyed it. It's nice. I do enjoy cooking. It's just my wife is just so much better at it than I am.
It's a good way to be. It is, not having to cook. I've always wished that I could find men that cook, but they just don't. Most of them, they just don't really have a clue. Beans on toast isn't a romantic meal.
But it's like my wife is phenomenal.
So brilliant. Coming to the weekend, you're actually about to undertake a huge UK tour. Is this a deliberate kind of what we really, really want to get back to the UK kind of thing?
Yeah, I think there's a number of cities and towns we've just never played. Normally we do 5 or 6 shows, and then we're go straight into Europe, and it's quite an interesting experiment to see if by doing more dates, smaller venues, because obviously people aren't going to be travelling as far, and doing these other towns we've never been before, it'd be a good experiment to see how it goes, really. Quite looking forward to it.
I can well imagine, really. And The Tragic Idol, it's your 13th studio album. Can you tell us everything about it?
It's the most work I've done as a rhythm guitarist in the studio since our 1992 album Shades of God. It is guitar mental. Yeah.
And so do you think it's going to keep all your old fans really happy?
New fans, old fans, we don't write albums for fans. we write albums for us, you know, and that's the way we've always been. I mean, sometimes that takes us in one direction or another, but, you know, we're actually really enjoying, you know, we really enjoyed the Draconian Times live shows last year. And I don't know if that's crept in, but we just got gone really into it's more guitar-centric than we've been for a long, long time. It's pretty heavy. It's heavier than the last one. To be honest, I think it's the best album we've ever done. I know, but I mean, it's.
Do you think that's about every album you put out?
No. You think you're always happy with the album, but we had to leave a song off this album for an extra track, and we had trouble picking which one. Whereas most albums, there'll be one where you think, oh, we can lose that one. But I was gutted when we lost this one because the one we cut off is really, really cool song, and it's got my favourite fill by Adrian, our drummer. It's like, you know, and it's like I'm so gutted it's not on there.
Will you be releasing it with anything else? Do you reckon? Will we actually get to hear it?
I think it's an exclusive for Japan, but I'm sure it'll be on the internet anyway. You know, but, the album is. I can't wait for people to hear it, and I'm more excited about playing the song live because it's a real gonna sound awesome live album, I think.
And can we expect to hear anything live tonight?
Tonight we're playing one song. We've just done a video for it as well. It's called Honesty and Death. So it's a nice summer hit title.
And how about like the UK tour you're doing? Have you finalised the set lists for that yet?
We're just, funnily enough, we were going through it yesterday. We're thinking about changing it up a bit and getting some songs we haven't played for a long time or songs we don't play often in there. But I mean, then there's the argument. Well, people expect certain songs, you know. So it's a tough thing to balance, really. So we're discussing it at the minute. So there might be a few songs we haven't done for a while in there, and then obviously 4 or 5 songs off the new album, and then the more popular ones. I don't like to say hits, but the more popular ones.
With all the amount of material you've got, do you always kind of end up wishing that you had longer to play for, or are you happy with the balance that you give your shows?
I think there's only so long that metal concerts should go on for. And I think the more extreme the metal, the less it is. It's like bands like Slayer and Napalm Death will do like 50 minutes, an hour as a headline set because it's so intense, you know. Whereas, like, you know, I love early Metallica. When I went to see Metallica in '86, they played about an hour and 20, and it was still to this day one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. And then I went to see them, and they did like a 2.25 hour show. And I must admit, in an hour and a half, I was starting to shuffle a little bit because it was in the MEN seated arena. So I was like starting to shuffle a little bit. And I think metal concerts shouldn't be more than an hour and a half, unless it's more of a chilled out thing, and you've got different ways to go. But I think an hour 25, an hour 30 is a great length, you know, for a good solid metal set, if you know. But then, yeah, like you say, there's so many songs I'd love to play, you know. Who knows? We might keep if we're still going in 50 years. 50. I mean, next year is our Silver Jubilee. Well, 1 year from this month will be 25 years. It's 24 years this month, and it'll be like our Silver Jubilee.
Do you enjoy it as much as you ever did?
Do you know what? I was discussing it earlier. It's the band is actually, as a band, enjoying it more now than we ever have done. I think we appreciate what we've got a lot more than when we did in our early mid-20s, you know, where we were just constantly pissed. I think we appreciate it a lot more now, I think.
And the music industry, you know, it's changed so much since you guys started.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that's for the better or for the worse?
Worse, because the problem is like 1 in 10 is the scale of albums from like 10 years ago to now, you know, and it's like people still expect albums to get better quality, and yet, you know, a record company always get paid first. I mean, they're essentially a bank. They lend you the money. They don't give you money to make albums. You owe them. So any sales that go to them first, and it's just harder to make money that you can reinvest back in the band. You know, I mean, it's like if I owned a grocery shop and 10 people came shopping in my shop, you know, walked out with stock that I'd bought and only one of them paid, I'd go bankrupt. You know, and that's kind of the way the industry is. I mean, there's other things where, you have to play live more, and, you know, which is kind of cool because I love playing live. But yeah, I think the music industry was caught out, and now there's an era of where people expect everything for nothing. But it's like, we're still paying tens of thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds on videos, albums,
But do you not think that it's a great way to kind of get your name out there more?
This is the other thing. That's the flip side. Is like the internet is fantastic. I mean, when I was a young man, it was many years ago. I mean, the way you got an idea about a band is either you looked at the artwork on the front of the vinyl and you thought they might sound cool. There's a tiger shooting laser beams, or something, or there's a skull on it. You might think this album's going to be ace. It's got a skull on it, and then, or you'd read a review in a magazine, and then literally you're wholeheartedly at the whim of the reviewers, and then you find out which reviewers have got common interests, and you'd go with them. Whereas now the internet is fantastic because it's like, oh, that band. Type it in, within a minute you can hear the band and form your own opinion as to whether you like it or not, and I think that is phenomenal. I think YouTube and things like that is a phenomenal tool.
And so apart from obviously the latest album, which is the one that you're most proud of and why?
Do you know what? I don't have all of them, because but the thing is, all of them are part of the journey to get you where you are today. And if you're a happy man in the present, you've got to love every cobblestone you hop across the river,
And you've covered, in your time, you've covered some bizarre artists and some brilliant artists. Do you still like to do that? Do you still like to experiment with all the music?
Yeah. I mean, we've got a new artist doing the artwork on this, and we've done a cover on the new album as well. Both of them probably not expected, but the new album artwork is quite stunning and beautiful, to be honest. I'm quite really pleased with it. But we've done a cover version of an old Spear of Destiny song, Never Take Me Alive, and it's worked out. The thing is, we realised we needed an extra song, so it was one we'd sort of thought about before. We just did it in the studio, and it sounds ace. Nick's singing is really good on it, actually.
Thank you so much for your time today. I know that you're going to get stolen off me very soon, so I should let you go and carry on with more interviews. But thank you so much. Have an absolutely brilliant show, and we will hugely look forward to catching you on your tour as well.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you for your time. It's much appreciated. Thank you.